Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Is it Monday? Who the fuck knows? All the days kind of melt together in quarantine. Hi, welcome to episode 14 of 20 Questions With. Today's special guest is going to be the badass babe, Libby Lux of Bridge City Sinners. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Erin Micklow, and I host a show on YouTube where I interview bands, cover their live sets, and do festival recaps. So let's bring Libby on. Oops. Hi, everyone.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hi, gorgeous. How are you?
Okay, like, how do I, what is this? Where's the good angle? This light. I'm like, a little too much ring light. There we go. Just a perfect glow.
Yeah, it highlights it weird. You have to like tap the screen or something to make it not be weird with you.
Does that, am I good? Are we good?
Yes, you look gorgeous.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Libby.
Hi. Oh God, excuse me today. I whined out hard last night, so I am.
Yeah, today was difficult for me too. I was like, I have to put on makeup.
Yeah, today I was like, I can't be bothered to spike my hair today. We're not with it today for that.
I literally, I was on the phone with my best friend and she was like, what are you wearing? And I was like, I'm just going to wear this. And I had like a camo hat on and she was like, no, like you cannot. She was like, do your hair, you lazy piece of shit. Like I can swear, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
So let's jump into our questions. Oh,
yeah.
My dog just walked by. Hi, Freckles.
Hi, Freckles. Oh my God, great name, by the way.
Thank you. So your band, you guys started in 2016, and for everyone out there that doesn't know, your sound is described as like folk songs in the direction of a punk rocker, where you guys incorporate instruments like a banjo, violin, a guitar, a mandolin, an upright bass, and a ukulele. Can you talk about how the band came together and like what influenced you to choose those instruments to cultivate your sound?
Yeah. Okay. So, we came together from Craigslist, actually. That was how our band formed, was on Craigslist. Our guitar player, Michael, posted an ad on Craigslist looking for just other people around the similar age who were into a similar style of music. Like, I've always really loved country and ragtime, like old-time country, Hank Williams Sr. things like that. Like, have always had a special place in my heart. So when I was like, when I was like 19, I had a boyfriend who ran away to go play like music on the streets. And I was like, I can do that too. And so I picked up an acoustic guitar and I always wanted to be in like a punk band. Like, I mean, that's what I grew up on, was like punk rock music and in the punk scene. And I always wanted to be in a punk rock band. And when I picked up an instrument and started singing, it just like didn't come out that way at all. So yeah, that was just kind of just having that like that background of like country music influence and bluegrass influence, and then really loving punk rock and not being able to let that kind of like darker, gloomier, like angsty side of me go. They just kind of like formed together.
Yeah, I mean, your music, you have such a beautiful singing voice. I mean, it's just so like soulful and like moody and sad, but there's a power to it as well.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I like to let it all out. I'm a drama queen, so like it's like a perfect place for me to let everyone know how I'm feeling. I'm always feeling something, so
I'm into it. I'm with you on that. So the band actually started with you and your friends busking on the streets in Portland, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, we really didn't have a plan for where the band was. We were just doing it for fun. So yeah.
Well, so for you, like, what was that like, and how did it mold you into the musicians you are today? I mean, that's like that's a good way to kind of cut your teeth as musicians. Like, just
it actually really did prepare me for what I do now. in a lot, like when you had sent me that question, I was like, actually, I do have a lot of credit to thank for busking, because when you're busking, it's like no one's there to see you. They're there to run their errands or, enjoy the market or the street event, whatever's going on. Like, no one has to give you their attention or give you their money. So if you don't, like, if you're not on the street demanding their attention, like, I yell, I'm loud, I will stop you in your tracks and be like, excuse me, sir, like, come sit, come hang out with us. Like, you want to be here. Please take pictures of us because we forgot what we look like, and email them to us here. And while you're at it, go ahead and throw $5 into this here guitar case. Like, if you don't demand people's attention, they'll just walk right by you. So I think that definitely translated into like the music now. Like, people are still there to see me, but I'm still yelling at them. Like,
yeah, it's like your own self-promotion. And like, I saw that like last month, now in these quarantine times, there's like a line to go to the grocery store and everybody is 6 feet away because they don't want to have too many people in the store. And there was, I mean, that's how it is here. I don't know how it is in where you are, but like here, it's like a limited amount of people in the store. And there was a guy playing music, and it was like, God, he's really making this experience a lot more pleasant.
So much better, right? He is the musician on the Titanic that keeps playing while it's sinking. Like, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing like really upbeat music too, and it was like this, because it was like when the stuff was kind of new before it was like what it is now, where it's become the new normal. But it was like, I have to wear a mask and wait in this line to go into the grocery store 6 feet apart from everybody. This is a really fucking miserable experience.
Yeah, for reals. Well, and it's just like, I mean, this is a dangerous time too. I don't want to get fucking sick. Like, this is no one in our lifetime, like anyone who's alive now, has not experienced what we're all going through right now. Which, like, this pandemic, I don't know about you, but this shit's been driving me absolutely insane. Like, I start like questioning who I am as a person. I was like, I have no purpose anymore. I mean, we were supposed to go on tour. We're supposed to be I was supposed to be in Canada the other day, and I'm supposed to be in Europe, and supposed to be playing all these festivals, and everything's fucking canceled. And now I'm like having an existential crisis of like, and I can't even go to Goodwill like, to shop it off. I'm like stuck online shopping. I have a whole pile of online shit to return because it's like weird shit from Wish, because I'm just not like getting fulfilled in that other way,
I feel you, girl. I mean, like, I've had my days too in this, where it's like some days were good, and then some days I'm like, man, I just need to fucking wine out tonight and fucking get saucy. Cause
yeah, I feel it. And I've like, I know we've got questions about this later, but like, yeah, I've struggled with my sobriety, and like, Lord knows I would like a drink. Like,
well, so let's talk about that. Like, for you, what inspired that life change for you to get sober? I saw that in an interview that you're very open about it, that's the way that you run your life.
Right. And everyone seems to have an opinion about my sobriety, which I plan on making a video myself about, like really diving in depth about like my weight loss and my sobriety, because everyone seems to have an opinion about it. So we might as well talk about it. But for me, like, I have never struggled with hardcore addiction, like to like street drugs, hard drugs. That has never been something that has, it's been something that has touched my life, like from other people I really love and truly care about. So I don't think bad about addicts on like, and although being called one does kind of like ruffle my feathers in some way in like comments on videos, at the same point, like I have struggled with my own addictions, and I'm no better than anybody else. So really, like, we're all there, and we all could be right there, on that like teetering line of like a good time and what's not a good time anymore. And so for me, like, especially growing up in the punk rock scene, alcohol is big. I mean, it is at every event. It is the heart of every event. There is albums and songs and, hard times and good times. Like, it's all focused around alcohol. And growing up, I mean, I probably had my first drink when I was 12, you know, but alcohol was never a problem for me. Like, it was something I did on the weekends with friends, even though it was young and probably in a consumption that I should have not. I mean, there was definitely times where I was like dying in a field somewhere, you know, but it was never a problem for me until I became sad. And once I was sad, then alcohol really just amplified every emotion and every negative thought and every negative feeling that I ever had. And it was never, it was like after Tomas had died, who is from Profane Sass, and we'll talk about him more. But after he passed away, I was just consumed by sadness. And I really at a loss. And it was I never sat alone in my house and like drank and hid from people. It was that I needed to be social. Being social made me feel better, and being social meant drinking with friends. And so I would find any excuse. I'd be like, it's freaking Tuesday, Trivia Tuesday. Everybody, come on, we're getting fucking blackout wasted tonight. Like, and it just became it would be a 50-50 chance whether hanging out with me for like you would be the best fucking night of your life or the worst, like we're both going to jail. Like, and so I realized that I was not making anyone proud of the way I was and like the road I was heading down. And I really only like hardcore struggled with alcohol for probably like 4-5 months ish. And it was like after Tomas had died and I really started to like settle into my depression, and then his mother became sick with cancer and she was like a mom to me. And then I, you know, just drank the entire time she was passing away, you know, like the time it took her to leave us. And after that I was like, then even more of a mess. And like, but yeah, it wasn't until the sadness came that alcohol became a problem for me. So I stopped drinking, and I didn't drink for 6 years. And then I found myself in a place, like I had finally freed myself of a lot of things that had been tying me down and a lot of baggage, and worked through a lot of problems. And I did decide to drink again. And it had been like really a rare occasion for me. But then this quarantine hit, and I took myself on like a little wild ride for like 2 weeks of drinking, and realized that those like same behaviors can really, even though I think I'm happy, like there's always a moment where I could decide to focus on something that's upsetting. And when I'm intoxicated, that thought is so much louder than any other thought in my mind. So I still struggle. Like I like to say that I don't like to say I'm sober right now, because that puts down or belittles anyone else who's actually going and living a sober lifestyle. I make mistakes still, but I am definitely not in that sad, sorry place that I was when alcohol consumed me. But
yeah, I mean, like it's funny because people will self-medicate to numb the pain with alcohol, but then alcohol is a depressant, and it like makes you feel more anxious and like more depressed the day after.
Yeah.
Like, you're hungover and stuff. It's terrible.
Right. Or just like having people tell me the shit that I said and did when I was intoxicated, and I'm like, we don't know her. Like, but no, she's me. And she's still there. I like, she's still there all the time. I'm always like in the back of my head. I mean, I've struggled with mental illness my whole adult life or teenage life too. Like, or like I've always been okay with not being okay. Like, I'm like, it'll be okay. But like, yeah, when you're intoxicated, it really, I mean, nothing gets done. Nothing. Yeah. No mental growth. I don't fucking clean up after my fucking self. Nothing gets fucking done. So, for the most part, I am like, I smoke weed on a daily basis. I don't give a fuck who knows. I fucking smoke weed all day long. I'll fucking go find my pen right now. But alcohol has really been my biggest demon. And every once in a while she comes and says hello. But for the most part, I've done a really good job of keeping that at bay.
Well, that's all you can do. I mean, I think that's amazing that you share that and you're open about it to hopefully inspire other people and just check in with yourself of like,
One
where are
day
you
at a
at?
time.
You know, and it's just like you just have to like really have those honest talks with yourself.
I want to get comfy. I'm like, this chair's not comfy. Like, let's get into it. Here we go.
So I wanted to ask, I wanted to go back to your times busking. Can you share some like memorable stories from that time? I mean,
speaking of hard drugs, there was one of my favorites, which is actually not my least. It's actually my least favorite, but it's my favorite to tell now. But we were in Portland and we were just, it was probably like a Saturday night and we were playing on the streets in front of like Voodoo Donut, and there's Voodoo Donut and Dante's right there on the corner. And it's kind of like the spot to kick it. Ash Street used to be there, rest in peace. It was the best fucking bar. And that was where I lived pretty much, was at that bar. And there was like this great burrito joint, but that's besides the point. Anyways, but we're playing music out there, and this woman who was definitely had a long history of hard drug use and like untreated mental health issues. She had been like kind of standing off to the side, like dancing around and on her own planet, enjoying the music. And then she came up to me after about probably a half an hour of us busking. She came up and she leans in and she says, "I heard everything you said." And I was like, well, yeah, I really try and like I try and enunciate and sing loudly so everyone can understand me. And she's like, "Yeah, you said that you had a baby and you turned him into a man." And she's whispering at this point. And then she starts screaming and she starts screaming. "And then he stole all the cookies from the cookie jar." And then she spit a loogie in my face. And I lost my goddamn mind. I probably looked 10 times crazier than this lady is and was. I fucking like had my ukulele up above my head and I was like swinging. I was ready to kill this woman. And then I literally had this like epiphany in my mind of like, she's not well. Like if for some reason in her mind, I fucking deserved that. I was like the world, like, and me inflicting pain on her is not going to help her in any fucking way. And she's not going to learn from the situation anyways. So I breathe. And that's how I know I'm growing up, because younger me would have just like absolutely gone for it and been like, fuck, let's fucking do it. But it's
like, "Hey sis, are you well? Are you well?"
Right.
Like,
I was like, in your head, you think I'm like the fucking bad guy. Like, and it is totally logical in your mind. So yeah, I like, and luckily there was this security guard. He's like this, he's always around there. He has like a whole tattooed head. And I always love him. He's always super sweet to me. But like he heard me fucking blah! And he came around the corner and he like whipped out his mace and he was like, "You need to go." But he didn't mace her, but he was like, "I will, like, don't make me do it." And then she like scuttled off and left. And I was like, "Do you have some hand sanitizer?" And he gave me some, and I literally like wiped my face with hand sanitizer. It was like, but yeah, so busking can be fun, and then it can also not be fun, but still fun.
Yeah. It is weird too now, the hand sanitizer thing, how that's the new norm as well. It's like I never really paid attention to that. Now it's like I always have it on me when I go out. It's very strange.
Like, we all need to go to Bath and Body Works because this stuff smells amazing. Don't look at my one nail. I like smashed my finger in a drawer earlier.
Oh, no, I'm missing one too, that one.
That's a great one to miss though. That's the one to miss.
Me and my other girlfriend, it's like, damn girl, I miss going to get my nails done.
I'm a nail tech, so I really have like no excuse to have ragged ass nails. So
I'm like so jealous of you right now. Like, I got my nails done 2 months ago. They're still kind of hanging on.
Still hanging on? That's amazing. That is amazing. Your nail tech is good.
Oh my god, though, girl, it's like, oh, I miss getting our nails done. You're lucky you can just do your own.
Look at my roots. Who am I? Who am I? I am really glad though that doing this today like made me put on makeup and stuff, because that's been like something, like I'm getting way too comfortable looking this fucking gross. Like I'm like, this is me now. Like I'm just a fucking slug. So I'm glad that like I'm wearing jewelry. I made a necklace the other day and I haven't even had a chance to wear it. There's nothing to do.
I feel you.
I really like this comment. I'm a lesbian. Nails, what are those? It's okay. That's why.
God. The day
get yourself a girl get yourself a girl who's missing one nail. That's what she needs.
Your nails look really good though.
Thank you. Just look at this hand.
Girl, like I lost like a toenail the other day. We're falling apart over here.
Oh my God. When we went on tour with the Addicts, when I was young, I used to be able to like stage dive and I'd get in the pit all fucking night. And now I like look at the pit and I'm like, I have a really long tour to go on, or like I have to work tomorrow. And so like this dude was like, come on, like come get in the pit. And I was like, okay, like fine, like everyone's looking now, I have to do it, like and so he drags me out into the pit, and immediately, like the first song that I'm out there for, this fucking giant dude steps down on my foot and just like cracks my fucking toenail. It was the worst ever. And now anytime I step foot in the mosh pit, I'm like, I swear to fucking God, if you step on my foot, I swear to God. And then like the next show we played, the next time I finally got the courage to stage dive again, I ended up with a whole ass shoe just getting like taken off my foot, and then I got like set down in the pit with no shoe on, and I was like, get me out, like no, I have tour, I can't. I was like, we're just gonna buy new shoes tomorrow, I guess, because I only have one fucking shoe on. And then some angel was like, draw, and like came out of the pit like holding my shoe. So but yes, so I feel you on the toenail there. That's like my worst fear now. It's all I can think of.
It's like we're good. Like our home beauty is all good, but with the nails, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You know?
Guys, I can't not. I can look like a complete fucking just bum in sweatpants, no makeup, like messy bun, but I walk into the Walmart like this and I'm like, like I am just a chrysalis right now. Like you can see I'm a butterfly, really. Like, it's okay. Like, but when my nails are ragged too, it's like, no, I am.
It does something for you. It really does. And I'm like, I'm just like.
I'm instantly talking with my hands. I'm like, I'll take two. I'll take two of these. Two of them.
Totally.
Please wrap them up. I'm going to take them to go.
And like the tap, you know, when you use the clickety clack.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's just like a whole level of sassy that like I don't have when I like stare at my hands without nails and I'm like, what are these baby hands? Like child's hands. So small. Like yeah. But anyways, back to the music.
Yeah, let's talk about you know, on the topic of all of our feminineness with our nails, you being the only female in the band, can you talk about like pros and cons of that?
Okay. Yes. And I think I am pretty firm about being the only female in the band too. I think like I'm a pretty intense person and a pretty intense like female energy. So I think it somehow really just kind of works that I'm the only one of that in like, because we're in the van for hours. We'll leave the show that night and drive all the way until we have to be at the show the next day, like for sound check. Like, so you have to really have like a good, like, there has to be good energy for it to all work, for everyone to not want to fucking kill each other. So we have like a no girlfriends on tour policy even, and except for like certain things like if we're gonna be at a festival, like girlfriends are welcome to fly in, hang out with us for the festival, and then fly out and like we continue tour, things like that. Like and that's just, I think that's mostly for the boys. Then it's not for me, really. I think the boys just need their sanity and like to be on tour on their own too. So their alone time. But yeah, it just seems to kind of work that I'm like, God, I'm gonna sound like such a bitch for saying this, but like, it's they would all agree with me that I'm the queen. They would all agree, like that's just how it works. We have this really amazing tour manager, Jay Crash, which I think that you've talked to Jay. And he drives for us and he does everything for us. He literally treats me like a fucking princess. Like I get off stage and he's like, oh, we'll come over here and talk to these people for a little bit, but I've got you a Red Bull and some water, and there's a joint right here. And this is like, and when you're done, you know, you can head back to the van and go take a nap if you'd like. And like, and I'll load up your stuff. He like, it works out. It just works out. I like being the queen. I like to be pampered. Yeah. So, and I don't know if I could share that spotlight, but all the boys are they're so great. We'll talk about that more too though, but yeah, for the feminine energy, just me on my own, I think that I make a good captain of that part of the ship. So I don't,
for sure.
I
can see that. It's like, you know, yeah, like especially like when you're like a lady that puts effort into your appearance and you have those kinds of things, it's like,
yes, get out of my bathroom. I need you to go in there and shit and shower, and those are your only, that's the only and every other hour that we're in the hotel, that bathroom is mine. That is my bath. That is my mirror to sit in front of and do my makeup. Like, yeah, it just wouldn't work out well if I was trying to share that with someone. Yeah, Libby for president. I like that one. Thank you. Actually, no, I just president of the van, but not, I don't want any more responsibility than that.
That's good. So you mentioned your friend earlier, the one that passed away with his mom,
Tomas.
Yeah, Tomas. Yeah. So can you talk about that? I read that, you know, you kind of started the band to pay homage to him because he passed away because he fell off a train.
Yeah, and so Tomas is the boyfriend I was talking about in the beginning of the interview that like, so we were together from when I was 15 until I was like consistently until I was about 18. And then after that, it was probably like another good 2 years of like off and on, not being able to figure out what the fuck we're doing, like until I was about 20 years old. So when I was like 18, or 18 or 19, he left and broke up with me to go travel. And I was like, and go travel and like play music. And I was so beside myself and so heartbroken about it that I was like, I can do that too. And then I got an instrument and I learned how to fucking play music out of spite. And then, but we stayed really close, and we always stayed really close. His mom was like my mom. And him and Scott, my bass player, they went to high school together. So they knew each other already from that. And then they ended up traveling together, and Scott played bass with Tomas for Profane Sass for a while. And then like anytime he would come to town, we would always get together and play music. And there was like a good solid 3 years from 20 until 23 that me and him were just really close, but not in that way anymore. I had like another boyfriend in that time period. And I'm sure he had many girlfriends, but we just didn't talk like that. And when I was 23, he was traveling on a freight train with his brother and some other friends that play music with him, and he fell off of the train and he passed away. And that was what led to my depression and my drinking, like, and everything. I was just like, he had so much and meant so much, just like so much going on for him, and just like really lived his life like no one else dared to fucking live it. And then it was just ripped away from him, and he was just ripped away from all of us. And it was like, it was something I've never felt before. That loss impacted me greatly, and a lot of other people as well. And then, so we have a song, Ashes, and that was our song. Scott had started writing kind of like the bass bones to it, and then he came to me with it and was like, can you help me finish? And so we sat down and wrote it out in a night. And that was that's our song for him and his mom, his brother Nico, and his sister Isabel. And yeah, he was incredible. Profane Sass, everyone go look them up on YouTube. Scott, our bass player, he does Flail Records, and he just put all their stuff up, or not all their stuff, some stuff up on Spotify, and he's working on getting the rest up there and getting some patches made and stuff. We really want to make sure that like lives on, because it was everything. It was so important to us.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a tragic way to lose somebody close to you. I mean, I'm so sorry. That's awful.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry too. Everyone should have met him. He was fucking rad. He was literally the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous, like hopping trains and stuff. Like you hear about that. A lot of people do lose their lives with it because it's really dangerous.
Or their legs, or, you know, like, yeah, it can be really dangerous. It can also be really freeing and really amazing. So like to travel for free like that. I mean, so, and just, yeah, he was the freest little bird I'd ever met. He was a great human.
That's awesome though. It's awesome that, you know, you continue to carry that on and remember him and, you know, respect his life like that.
Yeah. And that was Profane Sass. I see someone asking again, but Profane Sass, I remember it like propane gas, but different.
That is an interesting name. It's cool.
Yeah, it was a ticket that he got. Like, they were like busking on the street, and then he ended up, they were like told to leave, and then he talked back to someone, and then they gave him like a ticket, and then on the ticket it said that the charge was Profane Sass, and that's where the band name came from. So
that's awesome. That's really I like want to start using that. Like, you're profanely sassy.
This is profane sass right now. No, you need to take it down. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Look at Flail Records. He's on it. Good job, Scott.
So like I was saying at the beginning of the interview, I've never seen you live, but like watching videos of you, you have such like a presence on stage. It's like this really like strong female, but then like you're super, super vulnerable too, and it's like moody.
Thank you. Yes. Like, I turn into like, I can like feel myself like transform. Like when I'm really into it, I can feel like my eyes like roll back in my head, and all of a sudden I'm like, ah! And then we hit the last note, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks. Like, like I really don't know where it comes from, but yeah, it just feels right. It just feels good.
Yeah, it's like it's just you expressing yourself of like.
Yeah, totally. Just let it all out there. Just be the freaky weirdo I always wanted to be. That like people used to put me down for being when I was younger. Like, like just fucking embrace it. Just be the weirdest you. And like I just try not to worry about whether or not I'm like contorting my face into the weirdest thing I've ever. Like sometimes people will get pictures from the shows, and I'm like, yep, that's me.
Oh, I know. It's like you're like
out of my head.
Yeah, it'll be really soulful, and then it'll go into a moment where you get like super aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but it's like, yeah, it just feels right. And like it feels, the more we do it, like, because when we first started playing, it was like I was still trying to figure out who I was and what I was like what exactly I wanted from music, and really breaking out of my shell where I wasn't just doing covers and like actually getting into writing my own music. And more I have like wanted to just lean into that, like just let it all fucking go and just be like the weirdest creep that you fucking want to be, and yell and scream and like, and yeah, so I just want to get darker and weirder.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, thank you.
So for you, the band, like you said, started in Portland, but you're actually in San Jose, California now, right?
Yes, yeah. I've actually, so it was like, I grew up in Portland. I had lived in Portland since I was 15. And before that, I grew up in Corvallis, Oregon, which is like a little college town. But yeah, I moved to Portland when I was like 15 with my family, and I was like, I hate you. You're ruining my life. And then I realized that I love Portland, and I had lived there for a long time, and I had gone and done some traveling, but I always ended up coming back to Portland for some reason, and that's where the band originated, was in Portland. And now my guitar player lives in New Orleans. Scott still lives in Portland. Clyde, our banjo player, is from Colorado, and he just kind of is constantly going and touring. And Lucas is from Portland as well, but also like when there's not a pandemic, we're all on the road all the time pretty much. Like I had just quit my job and was ready. Like I moved all my stuff down here in March. I actually started seeing a really wonderful boy who I'm totally like head over heels in love with. It has been a very, very, yes, thank you, yay, love. But it has been a very long time since I have felt like such a way. And he got a promotion he works for Apple, and he got a promotion through Apple, and he was like, I have to move. And he actually it's a very long story, but when I was on tour, we connected because he actually lived here in California already. So we were in a long distance relationship for a little while first, flying in and back and forth, and it was expensive and exhausting. And so I literally moved all my stuff down here in March. He got that promotion and was like, I have to move for work. And I was like, let's fucking go, babe. Let's fucking go. And so, yeah, he flew up. We loaded all my shit into a van and we drove down here. That was like the first week of March. And then like the second week of March, the pandemic like happened. And so it was like we moved in with each other, and then all of a sudden the world fucking stops. But it's actually been really beautiful. We're like learning a lot about each other, whether we fucking like it or not. And like, and I think besides like some hiccups that I feel like every single fucking person is going through right now with being stir crazy and like not, for me, like when I start to feel any kind of like regular depression, I will then counteract it with going out to be with people, be with friends, go to a show. Even if I don't know anything about the music, I'll go to a fucking show just to see it. Or I'll make plans for like later that week or something. And that the idea of going and getting dressed up later and hanging out with friends later is enough to like fulfill me and make me not feel sad. Or I'll even like get up and go to the store or something. But when you don't have that coping mechanism, I'm trying to like find different ways to cope. So like besides my own struggle with the pandemic, my new relationship is going fucking swimmingly. It's beautiful. I fucking love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would not, Brian, if you're watching, I would not rather, there's no one I'd rather be stuck with. So.
Oh, that's so fucking sweet. I love it. I'm into it. I'm here for the love.
Yeah, but I'll be flying back to Portland. Anyone who's from Portland, I'll be flying back to Portland in June. So I come home, I come see you.
So we're about halfway through our questions. Will you play us a song?
Yes, I will play you a song. Okay. And I told you this earlier, and I want everyone else to know, just in case I fudge, that I get horrible anxiety playing music by myself anymore. Like, I used to, that's all I ever did before I had a band but then I only ever did it for myself alone in my room. So, I think when I have everyone else there, if I like fuck up, I can look at Lucas, who's our fiddle player, and be like, one more time, Lucas. And he can pick it up, and no one has any idea that I have completely forgotten the words to the song. Like, so it's always wonderful to have that backup. So if I fudge, y'all gotta just not point and laugh.
No, through all of this, like, just because shows aren't gonna happen for a long time, and this is what we have now. Like, I think a lot of people feel the same as I do, that I'm just so grateful to see any music, you know?
Yeah, right. I feel that. I have definitely been tuning into like every live show that's like, I'm like, my friends, look at my friends. You're telling yourself secrets? What are you talking about, Amber? I can see my BFF is in here leaving comments. Okay, let's make sure that it's tuned, because that is a really frustrating part about my ukulele, is that, or about any ukulele really, is that it doesn't really like to stay in tune. So I'll play you this lovely song. My banjo player calls the tuning song "Walking into Guitar Center." That's his joke, and he tells it every time. But he's not here to tell it, so. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna play Witch's Wrath, which I haven't played in forever, or by myself in forever. And I'm gonna play that, and then at the end, I'll play you something new. Something old, and then we'll play something new.
Yay!
Well, I have heard what the Holy Ghost says, and I know some folks wondering when they're dead. The count is on, the time is coming soon, but I can get to hell much faster than you. Usually there's a whole band, so it's much louder. I'm just letting my insecurities like run away with me.
No, it's beautiful. Don't be insecure.
And the witch is me. I put my spell on you, and I believe that the devil watches over us, sees every little thing we do. And I have felt hell's brimming fire, want nothing more than to give me to desire. The good Lord says you can't have your neighbor's wife, but that's the only certainty in this life. So, like, have your neighbor's wife if you want her. That's the moral of the story. And the witch is me. I put my spell on you, and I believe that the devil watches over us, sees every little thing we do. I close my eyes, envy and pray. It never fails me, I get things this way. Without my knife, take everything you got. Leave you broken, lonely in a burial plot. And the bitch is me. Don't give a fuck about you. That's not true. And they say that God's the one that judges us, not ashamed of the things that I do. There's nothing more here, the soul is dead and gone. I kick and scream, but there's no life left in these lungs. Sold my soul after death, there's so much more. I will live out the afterlife as the devil's little whore. I will live out the afterlife as the devil's little whore. Hey!
That was beautiful. You're such a beautiful singer.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. So let's jump back into our questions. I want to talk about your weight loss. You lost like a shit ton of weight. Can you talk about?
I have lost 80 pounds.
Holy shit. That is
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations.
Yes. And I have not talked about this at all with like, except for with close friends and stuff. But I really haven't touched on it because I didn't do a fucking thing. Like, and it's like people, I get DMs, and I want to touch on this. Like, I'm going to go into detail on this in my own video. I want to make a video where I read comments from Witch's Wrath, where I am just completely torn down for being overweight. And then comments from like our new video Siren Song, where it's like a mix of people telling me that I look better when I'm heavy, and then a mix of people telling me that I'm on methamphetamines. It's like no one, like just the rudest comments. It's like there's nothing you can do to make people happy. Not that I did anything to make anyone else but myself happy. But yeah, I had always been thin. Always. Like my growing as a child, I was a thin child. As a teenager, I pretty much looked really similar body-wise to what I am now for all of my life. Until my last relationship. And my last relationship lasted 5 years. And I had quit drinking and then got into that relationship, and it was a completely sober relationship, and it had love, but it was boring. And food became my addiction. I replaced alcohol with food. Instead of going out and partying on a Saturday night, I stayed home and made fucking cookies. Like, and then I ate all the fucking cookies. And I was working a job. I was working management for Ulta, the cosmetic retailer, and I fucking hated my life. I wanted to jump off a fucking cliff. Every time I went into work, I could not fucking I couldn't stand the way people treated me. Like, I was like, this woman would never fucking treat me like this if I wasn't wearing this name tag. Like, this woman would be scared of me on the fucking street if I wasn't wearing this fucking name tag. And I'm a sensitive person, and being there and having people treat me horribly or dealing with some piece of shit on the phone, which everyone who is rude to like retail workers, like, fuck you if you're rude to a retail worker, or fucking someone in the food industry. Get the fuck out of here. Don't be a dick. I hate that shit. Like, and now if I like see someone else, I was at Walmart the other day, and this lady like wanted to return her thing and tried to cut in front of everyone else, and the guy was like, you have to get at the back of the line to come in. Like, she was like, well, fucking blah blah blah, and I was like, don't you talk to him like that. I will lose my mind. But I was miserable in my job. There was a Starbucks literally right across the way from where I worked, and I would go there every day I worked and get a Frappuccino, because that was my happiness. Having that moment to myself to sit and drink my fucking bajillion calorie giant drink as big as my head, like that was my me time, and that was what made me happy. And it wasn't. And then I realized that in my relationship, I had let everything go. I had let myself go. I had let music go. And so my first like step in my mind was getting my mind right. Like, I wasn't even thinking about my body. For me, the last time I had weighed myself, I was like 197 pounds. And I know I passed 200, but that was the last time I had weighed myself. And I had already given up on my body. Like, I felt so hopeless and trapped inside of my body, that all I could do was worry about my mind. And so I started looking on fucking Craigslist for people to play music with, to try and get back to some part of me that really felt like me again. And so I started playing music, and that's why, like, in our Witches Wrath video, I'm sitting, because I was the heaviest I had ever been in my life, and the most uncomfortable I had been in my life. And it was exhausting to play music standing up. I couldn't do it for very long before I was tired. And so I would sit, and I think that's one of the things that really just bothers me the most in like people talking about like, oh, like she looked better when she was fatter, like in quotes, literally what people say is that it's like, I don't care if I looked better to you. I feel better now. Like, yeah. I feel so good in my own body now. So I quit the job. And I went to beauty school, and I started doing nails, and I started doing art for a living. And that was a really big part. And I started smoking weed again. I had not smoked weed at all, but I swear to fucking God, it was the weed that did it, because weed took my that need for entertainment that I was getting through food and turned it to like, if I was feeling boredom, I would go on a walk and smoke a joint instead. Yeah. And then I would probably like zone out on some art, and then I would probably eat an entire bag of chips. But without the weed, before, when food was the event, I would eat the whole bag of chips plus the burger plus the dessert plus the drink plus, you know, it was like that was the fun. Instead, I wasn't eating for nutrients. It was, and the part that really bothers me now is that because I'm like thinner, people feel like they have the right, like even close people to me feel like they have the right to say something to me now and be like, are you okay? When really the part that I wasn't okay was when I gained 100 pounds in a year, and no one had the care then to be like, are you okay? When I really wasn't. So the fact that people want to come at me now that I'm thinner and be like, ooh, and I'm like, get some fucking
I was literally talking to like one of my best girlfriends about this like 2 days ago, because she has lost a tremendous amount of weight as well, but in a really healthy way. Like she's on like a crazy fitness journey, and people are doing the same thing to her, and it's like they're like, are you okay? You're getting really thin. And it's like,
you know, amazing. I mean, and then there is a point where thin is unhealthy, but I'm 5'3" and 125 pounds. Get the fuck off my back. Like,
yeah.
Just as, and I do miss my boobs too. Like, I feel like seeing so many comments where people are like, where'd her boobs go? And I'm like, I don't know. I miss them. Like,
that's like, it's the first thing that goes when you lose weight. But and then like when you gain weight, like when I have my days where I'm like having like a fat day and I'm like, whoa, we need to calm down here. It's like my boobs get scary big, and it's like they're too big now. Like
oh my god, they used to hurt my back. but yeah, so I just feel like I'm back to normal. It was once I got my mind on track, I got my like, quit the job that I hated. I quit the relationship that I felt was dragging me down, or not dragging me down, but keeping me stagnant.
Yeah.
It was like, the relationship was just very content. And we had reached a maximum and there was no room for growth. And so it was like, it was just time to move on. Like, and so once I did that and started working on my mental health, my body just went back to normal. And I feel like shit because I can't turn around and tell people like some secret. People want to know this secret that I have to like help them. And I'm like, smoke weed. Don't be bored. Don't be bored in your life. Create entertainment for yourself in some other way.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, and because you were depressed, you were emotional eating. I mean, of course that's going to make anybody gain weight, and when you stop that, you lose weight.
And a boring relationship. Like, what else is there to do but fucking go to Red Lobster and eat all of the Cheddar Bay biscuits? Like, that was where we bonded, was in eating food. And that, so yeah, once I started taking the steps to put the rest of myself into a good place, my body went back to the way that it had always been. And when I do make like my video and put it on our YouTube, I'll like include pictures too, so people can see like I've always looked like this. It was me gaining the weight that was alarming, but people didn't know that. And people will watch one video and then they click on the other video and then they're like, wow, what a fucking drastic change, outrageous, when they don't realize that it has been 2.5 years. It took 2.5 years for my body to go to be what it is now. And even now I have, you know, insecurities of like, you know, looser skin, or I'm not as toned as I'd like to be, like, but I will say though that I am happy for my own mental health that I went through this the way that I did, of being larger in the beginning and losing weight now, because if it had been the other way around, I don't know if I could mentally handle that, because people have picked me apart in comments about how I must be on drugs or I'm, you know, or how fat I was before. Like, and if I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin like I do right now, and if I was in the headspace that I was in when I was 200 pounds and I was having to read all those horrible things, I don't, yeah, I mean, y'all are enough to make anybody fucking develop an eating disorder or, you know, like, people don't think when they post a comment that somebody's going to actually sit and read and see things. But it's been, losing weight in the public eye has been difficult.
It is hard, you know, the way that women are victimized. I mean, I'm even going through it myself right now, where an interview I did the other day really upset this girl, and she felt the need to go and publicly bash me on her platforms, and I don't fucking appreciate that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
right. Like the internet is a scary place.
Yeah, it's shitty. It's shitty that it dehumanizes people, and it's like, let's have a conversation. Like I'm always to talk, and it's like,
and I love these like these questions, because you sent me them last night, and it was like a lot of things that people have not had the balls to talk about, you know, or like or haven't really brought up, and I haven't necessarily had the courage to bring it up first either. So I appreciate you like diving in and being like, these are the questions, and then also giving me the heads up to like be like, you know, that I don't really want to talk about that, or like, you know, whatever I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I appreciate that you like dove a little deeper than just like, what's your favorite show?
Oh, thanks. So I want to say, I'm watching the time, and I don't know if Instagram is going to cut us off, because it says that you only get an hour for a live stream, but the last couple ones I did, it just like let me keep going.
Okay.
So
God, has it been an hour already? We're just blabbing.
Well, yeah, I can talk to you all day. If we do get cut off, then we'll just come back. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So I just want to put that out there, because I don't know. Like, Instagram keeps changing their shit lately. They're being weird.
Yeah. Well, everyone's using it now too, especially.
Yeah, it's odd. Somebody suggested the other day that like with the connection issues I had, maybe that's why it let me keep going, because it's like I disconnected with the artist and then reconnected, and it let me go for like 97 fucking minutes.
Okay. Well, we'll see. If it cuts us off, then fucking we'll come back.
Then we'll come back. So we'll jump back into the questions. In addition to the band, you actually have an OnlyFans as well, and I adore that you are fully owning yourself and your femininity and your sexuality.
If you're gonna jerk off to my pictures, you might as well pay me for it. But yeah.
Oh my God, have you gotten any backlash though for that? Like, kind of, you know?
I have not yet. But it was something before I started it that I went to my band ahead of time and asked them all for their opinion. And it was something we talked about in great detail. The pros, the cons, like it could keep us from getting booked at certain fests or something. But also at the same time, like, I scream fuck. I scream motherfucker. Like, if you don't, like, who cares? but it's like it's like I've gotten my my notoriety from being a bad girl anyways, so like, why not embrace it? But as far like I was an exotic dancer for 5 years, from when I was 20 until I was 25, and then I started doing some bartending at some gentleman clubs, and then it just kind of became like, I just hated it. Like, I was just like, I fucking hate dealing with fucking drunk people. Men are mostly, like, I don't want to like get your page in trouble, but men are fucking garbage. So, it just like, yeah, I just got kind of sick of babysitting other strippers and things like that. So, so I left that industry and started working retail. And I always did really love it, though. I just ordered a dancer pool, and my bae's gonna install it in our garage for me, so I can, because it was like the best exercise I have ever had, and the most fun ever. I've never run on a treadmill and been like, wow, what a great time, you know, like, but like, I can work up a sweat on a dance pool. I can go upside down, I can swing and this and that.
Fun.
And like,
I had one in my house at one point, and like, it's so fun. And even in this quarantine, Like one of my favorite things to do is I'll do like drunk dance parties with myself, and I'll just like
yes. Give yourself the spins, girl. But, so that was always something. That was something that I had to, I had done sex work for a long time. And so starting the OnlyFans, it was something that I had thought about starting to dance again, but I didn't want to give up on doing nails full time. I really loved doing the art, but then I thought about like working at clubs on the weekend, and then also like how well known I am in Portland now. I was like, do I really want to like just let people have access to me like that?
Yeah.
So that was something I had to sit and think about, but I really did want to get back into it. I mean, I don't know about you, but like if I'm naked in front of a mirror, my camera comes out. Like, I'm like, what is this? Who is she? Like, so yeah, it was something I talked with my partner about it, and I would much rather, just take one picture for everybody. Like, it's not I don't want to deal with people in real life. I don't want to deal with most men in real life, but but I actually have really found a lot of really nice people on my OnlyFans though, like really good fans who are like want to be supportive and are really sweet, and I rarely have to deal with anyone who's not tolerable ever.
You hear that with like dancers, that you have to deal with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like in this age that we live in with the internet, you can continue to create the work that you want to create without having to be harassed.
Right. Or if someone's inappropriate, I can be like, you know what, I don't want your $30 a month isn't really worth putting up with you, and I don't want to. And then there's some people who are really nice, and I'm like, I'm like, how is your grandma? Good, you know who you are. How's your grandma doing? And yeah, it's been a really nice experience, and it's something that has paid my bills. But yeah, I haven't experienced any backlash from it yet. I'm sure that there are people who have their opinions, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people who changed their opinions about me when I posted about it and let people know that I was going to be moving my Instagram from more of a nail Instagram to more of a personal Instagram, and that I was starting an OnlyFans. I did lose probably like 100 followers, but then I gained a fucking bajillion more. So like, who cares? But yeah, so far like I haven't experienced anything negative so far.
For sure. So for everyone out there that would maybe like to subscribe to your OnlyFans, what kind of content do you create for your page?
I am mostly just like a classy side boob. Like eventually, like it's a lot of like modeling, like kind of more classier nude modeling. Like every once in a while I'll do like some kind of custom content thing, but it's really rare, and it's not cheap. So like, but for anyone who just subscribes for like, it's a $30 a month flat like fee. I just post on my profile, and it's usually like, look at this butt and look at this foggy shower mirror. It's pretty much everything that I would send to you, like if you were like well, anyways, it just depends. But
it's like if it was your boyfriend, if you remember.
Right. Except that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say pretty much like if we were dating, that's what like I would be like, look at me in the mirror now. That's what I was gonna say, but then I actually thought about like the stuff that I actually send my boyfriend, and it's nothing like that. Like, he's special. He gets special stuff, but he gets
good.
Yes, he gets treated much better than everyone else. But which also, like, I mean, that's something I feel like is really important in my relationship, that I have like enough confidence in it, and that he has enough confidence in it, that it's something that that he's okay with and we're okay with. So like, and that I communicate with him about, like, so but yeah, it's interesting. It's on there, and I've been waiting. I Google on a regular basis, like I Google my own name and like nudes, and to see if like somebody's screenshotted something or posted it somewhere else, or like, I mean, I just don't post a picture that I wouldn't be like, if it got out there, that I wouldn't be like, well, at least I look good. Like, like, if it's ever anything that, like, if someone saw it and I was like, oh my God, that's me, like, I don't post. But yeah. And just anything that, like, on a normal basis, if it slipped up and came up in conversation, I'd be like, whoops. Like, yeah,
I mean, that's kind of how things are in this day and age with phones and stuff. It's like, yeah, I mean,
who doesn't?
Picture, like,
who doesn't have nudes? I know. You do the photo shoots, girl. Don't pretend like that little studded bra doesn't fall to the floor sometime.
No, I actually do not. I don't take nude pictures.
Never?
I'm too scared. I'm too scared if they got out because I don't do nude work.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's very true. I know, it's scary. It's scary. You got to find somebody you trust. You can send them to me.
I posted this dancing video like a month ago of just like one of my twerk videos on my Instagram just because it was fun. And somebody commented on it yesterday, and I didn't even realize. I like rewatched it to make sure before I posted it to make sure like nothing was showing because the underwear I had on were sheer. And this fucking guy commented, I like 5 seconds in when you show your asshole. And I was like, what?
What? Shit. Did I miss my asshole? Damn it.
I'm like, and I rewatched it before I posted it, and I'm like, did I flash my asshole?
Yeah, all right. Oh my God. Perfect. Yes. Or anytime I open up, like, you open up Facebook and it used to show, like, your whole camera roll at the top, and I'd be like, what is that? I didn't post that picture. But no, it's just trying to fucking give you a heart attack. But yeah, so far I've really enjoyed OnlyFans. I sometimes I lack motivation to, like, get on there and check it as much as I should, like, but I get on and respond to everybody as much as I can, and, like, as much as it's like, I want to be busy with other things, you know? Lately I've been having a harder time, like, motivating myself to be like, I'm flirting.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard in the quarantine to have any kind of motivation. Like, I have my days where I'm like, okay, we're gonna get stuff done, but it's not having that balance anymore of, like, work plus fun stuff. It's like you only work or just do, like, nothing.
Right. Yeah, and it's like I don't feel
not fun.
And, like, when I'm laying around the house, like, in the same fucking sweatpants, like, I don't feel sexy. Like, I on a regular basis, after I've gotten all done up and stuff, it's like, yeah, then I take, like, a cute mirror selfie before I get dressed or something. Like, it would just come naturally that I would take these photographs. But now with, like, the quarantine, it's like, what do you want to see? You want to see my hairy legs? Because that's what they are right now. Okay. That's what it comes down to. So, but yeah, ultimately, I'm really enjoying OnlyFans. Feel free to Libby at Libby666 Luxury. You can,
yes, everyone go subscribe to her OnlyFans.
Come on down.
Give her money for her nudes.
Yes, please.
It's like that meme. What was that meme the other day? That's all like, you know, a guy takes you out and then tries to have sex with you. It's like, no, pay me for nudes.
Yeah.
Stop asking for them for free.
And people are like, oh, like $30 a month. And I'm like, whatever. It's like, you took me to the Olive Garden one time. Like, it's not like, you would take me to Olive Garden one time to have a month worth of nudes, right? It's fine. Just give, like, just take me and my boyfriend out to Olive Garden instead. But I have actually made, like, some really nice genuine connections with some fans on OnlyFans, and I've yet to meet any fans in, like, after them being on OnlyFans first, and then, but anyone who is subscribed to my OnlyFans, if you show proof of subscription to the merch booth, I will give you 25% off of everything at the merch booth at the show. So yeah.
So I wanted to let's jump back into our other questions. You've got a shit ton of tattoos. If you had to remove one, which would it be and why?
Oh, shit. If I had to remove one, probably one of the ones I already had to fucking cover up. If I was going to remove one right now, it would probably be the one, like the cover up that I have on my back. I had a cassette tape that was like a rancid, tattoo. It was like, when I got the music, I got a place to go. And it fucking was like a little cassette tape with these little like little music notes on the side. And so I got that covered up with this, like, it's like a skull with like wing thing. I mean, I'm like, where is she? She's back here. It's like a butterfly thing. You can't fucking see it. But I would probably remove that, not because I don't like it, but only because I really want to get like a full back, like, and butt, like do like the whole butt and full back thing. Yeah. And so I kind of just like stuck this thing in the middle of my fucking canvas, and I would love to just be like erase, like brand new. So whatever I do, I'll have to like, do I sell any merchandise? What does that mean? Like, he wants a t-shirt. I thought maybe he was talking on OnlyFans, and I was like, you trying to buy these?
No, like your band merch.
Yes, band merch. I forgot about that part of the interview. The band, that's why we're here. But yeah, flailrecords.com. That's where you can find our merch.
No, we're here for all of your stories. The band stories and your personal stories.
We're just hanging out. We're
entertaining everybody at home, and this is what we're doing with our day today to be productive.
Yeah. Which actually, after this at 6:00, if you guys want to go over to the Bridge City Sinners Facebook page, me and all of the boys are going to do like a live Q&A. We haven't seen each other in a long time. So we're going to video chat. And then if people want to, like, if you have any follow-up questions from this or whatever that you guys want to ask me, since we're not really like reading comments, then you can come in and we can talk about it.
So I wanted to ask too, you guys just celebrated your 1-year anniversary from your last album. Have you guys been working on any new music?
I actually am going to be flying into Portland in the middle of June, and we are going to spend like a week to 2 weeks. I'm not exactly sure how long just yet, but just recording. I had my banjo player come down, and he stayed with me for a week, and we wrote like 6 new songs. And then my guitar player has a couple new songs that he's written already, and we just need to get together and learn them all together. So yeah, this like in like a month we're gonna start recording a second album.
Woo! That's awesome.
Yes.
So for that, what's your process when you're creating new music, and like what are some of the struggles that you face when you're sitting down to write songs?
Oh, okay. So for me, like, I'm not really as much of a musician. Like, I am a songwriter. Like, I can't do a fucking solo on my ukulele. Like, I can't take the lead. I'm really just like a rhythm. Like, for me, I always wanted to sing. It wasn't about playing music, but I felt like, especially as a female, to be taken seriously in playing music, that I kind of had to be able to do it all by myself and be like, this is what I have to offer, and you guys can join me. Yeah. Instead of like, when I just wanted to do vocals, I would have to go to other people and be like, I need you to do that so I can do this, because I can't do it on my own without you. So, so that was like, wait, what? No, I'm trailing. What was the question? Process. Okay, I remember. So the point was that in not being much of a musician, I write my words first, or I will have like an idea of what I want the song to be about, or like maybe I'll have like a bone structure of like gonna build the house, but I don't have all the pieces. So I'll write things down, scratch things out, maybe do something like simple with my ukulele just to give it like an underlying. And then I give it to the boys, and then the boys, like Lucas is the most amazing fiddle player ever, and a great soloist, and I will give him something that is super raw and super simple and basic, and he turns it into like a fucking masterpiece. So for me, it's all about vocals. I mostly will like write the poetry, and then the boys give it the music. And then a lot of times too, for like me and my banjo player Clyde, we really vibe on each other, and we we write really well together. When we actually get focused, we can sit and we can pump shit out. Like, but just getting focused is like the part that we have to focus on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll come to me with like some really cool music, like a really cool, you know, maybe just a cool melody or something. And then I will take it and write words to it. So it's like, we kind of just like both have our places, which is why I think I feel so self-conscious playing music on my own, is because I'm like, but like there's supposed to be a doodly doot right here, and there's not, and like I wrote it with my friend and he's not here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a collaborative effort, and especially for you guys because you have so many members in the band.
yeah. There's 5 of us now. At one point there was 7 of us, but there's 5 of us now.
That's a lot. I saw on like the bus, your tour van video that you did in Chicago. You were like talking about how when there were a lot of you, it's like you had to even take 2 different vehicles.
Yeah, at one point we did have to take 2 different vehicles. It was like the van drove and then another car drove. There we go. Is it still like me? There we go. My phone was dying.
Good. Oh no.
Okay. I'm at 20%.
We've got a couple more questions and then we're done. So I wanted to ask, you know, speaking of all the bandmates that you have, what are some of their most annoying qualities?
Fucking all of them. I hate them. It's not true. I fucking love them so much, but they do drive me absolutely bonkers. Sorry, I'm just trying to plug my fucking phone in. Okay, it'll be fine. But yeah, they absolutely drive me fucking nuts. Michael King String, he's our guitar player. He's like my kid brother. I fucking can't stand him, but I love him like to like the end of the earth. Like, he's one of my least favorite people. And Lucas, I can't really think of anything that drives me too nuts about Lucas besides him taking Michael's side on things when we get in a fight, and then I'm like, shut up, Lucas. But Lucas is really pleasant to deal with. Clyde's probably one of my best friends ever. I dumped a drink on Scott's head one time. It was a Starbucks energy drink. But yeah, I mean, they drive me fucking wild, man. They really do. It's hard to be that close to people all the time. I'm like, put your fucking shoes back on, your feet stink. Like, that's probably their worst quality, is that they stink. That's my final answer.
Well, I mean, if you're hogging the bathroom on the tours, then
it's my fault. They have plenty of opportunity while I sleep for 12 hours.
So, on the flip side of that, can you talk about some of their most endearing qualities, your bandmates?
All of them. All of them are annoying and all of them are endearing. Yeah, Michael has like I said, like this kid brother quality where he really has like this, like there's something really endearing about him, about how he like still has this like kid like wonderment and like want to play and laugh and have fun, even though it's all the fucking time. And I'm like, would you take anything fucking seriously? Like, but it's like, that's probably one of my favorite things about him, is that he's like a lost boy and he just isn't going to grow up. Like,
yeah.
And then with Lucas, I think one of his most endearing quality is like just that he's soft and sweet. He's like he's a very gentle human, and he like walks very carefully with the things that he says and the things that he chooses to do. And like, yeah, he's very thoughtful, very thoughtful. And then for Scott, I think one of his most endearing qualities is that he just like, he's dad. He's band dad. He's like, he makes horrible fucking jokes. Like, they're just fucking bad. And he does such hard work for us. And he somehow just manages to have this like really great like dad attitude. Like, I'm proud of you guys. We did a great job today. Like, so he's an awesome dad. We've got awesome dad. We've got kid brother. We've got like quiet introvert. And then Clyde is like my best girlfriend. And yeah, he's one of the best people I know. Me and him, he understands me in a way that I don't even get myself sometimes. So yeah, I love them all.
That all sounds really special that you have such a good relationship with them.
Yeah, they're my best friends. I hate them and I love them. And they are like, when we're on tour together, like there is nobody else I'd rather be with. They are my motley crew.
Oh, well, I want to close with one more song from you, if you'll
Okay.
play one more.
Okay. I'm gonna try and play with my pick. I hope it's not too loud, but I felt like last time it was a little too quiet. So let's see. So this is a new song, and this is gonna be on our new album. It's called The Damned, and it's about the apocalypse, which is very fitting right now since that's what we're doing. Oh, somebody says it's 420.
I know, Instagram has just been letting me keep going. It's like, am I getting like special privileges or some shit because I've been doing so many of these fucking lives?
Right? They're like, we appreciate you. This isn't weed, but this is all I have near me. This is my like worst habit, by the way. This like douche flu. I fucking suck on this thing all day. I'm like, let me play you a song. Okay. So, and a little backstory on this song. We went on tour with like another band, and at the end of my tour, I always try and like really make sure that I leave that tour with like this great connection of like, I appreciate you and what you do. And so I went up to the singer of the band that we had been on tour with, which I'm not naming names, but and I was like, I really love what you do. I appreciate what you do. And I appreciate like, your voice has been around for so long and you really paved the way. And I really like what you do. And he says to me, yeah, I really like what you do too, except for that growling thing. I don't really like that. And I was like, okay. Like, I'll try not to, be offended by your backhanded compliment, but okay. But so I wrote this song for him. Just making sure I got it right.
I don't know, I guess kind of kind of crusty all of a sudden. It's all like
yeah. That's where I want to go. I just want to go deeper and darker into that and just get fucking weirder. And our fiddle player really wrote this really amazing like like it's like I just want to make music that makes you want to like bash your fucking head against a wall, but like in like a really like melodic like good way, you know, like. But yeah, that's like my favorite right now, especially like just with everybody and with like the good like stand up bass, and yeah, it's like we played it on this last tour, and it was my favorite.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being here today. And
yes,
I mean, that's one beautiful thing about this quarantine, getting to meet so many musicians and do these longer form interviews, because traditionally before this quarantine, you know, I would do interviews backstage at shows and they would usually be like 10, 15, 20 minutes max. And with this quarantine, because we all just have, you know, a good amount of time on our hands.
Like, we got time, yes.
But it's nice because it's like, you know, really getting to know you and tell your stories, and it's awesome.
Totally.
So I appreciate you here and giving your time and sharing all of your wonderful stories.
Thank you for having me. I loved it. It was a good way to spend my Monday. Yeah, and if anybody wants to follow over at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we'll be on the Bridge City Center's Facebook Live if you want to follow up, ask any questions that you had during this. So.
Yes. All right, girl, I'm going to let you go. Thank you again.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you. I'll see you at a festival in the future.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If we ever get out again.
Yeah, yeah, if the world goes back.